All right, mic's recording. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Keo, and welcome to another podcast. This is episode number 7, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Oh, man, it's been a crazy weekend. I've actually gone back to work. I did a couple gigs over this weekend, and I got a couple more lined up. And it's kind of weird. It is surreal. The last time I did a gig was New Year's Eve 2019. That's my last working gig. And during this crazy pandemic and all this craziness going on, I practiced and I did stuff, but I always tell people that if you're DJing at home, it is a completely different experience from being in front of people. And the one thing that I noticed in particular about my night, I both nights they went okay. The client was happy, everybody was good. But one of the things that I noticed was that muscle memory was just gone. I was kind of freestyling. Like I had some stuff like playlists and stuff that I like set aside, and things that was organized and things that I wanted to do a certain way. And that kind of stuff, I nailed that. It was fine. But when I started vibing out with the crowd and freestyling and, just doing what I normally do, the muscle memory was just gone. Like it would be like the song. Normally when I'm doing gigs and I'm playing different genres of music, whatever, I'm thinking like 5 songs in advance and about where I want to get to and what I'm going to do to get there, and making sure everybody's vibing with me the same way. But it was kind of surreal that I didn't have the muscle memory of, well, okay, I'm going to put this song right here. I'm going to put this thing right here. And then, I was drawing blanks. It was this craziness. It was fine. And I have not looked at my playlist file, the output file from what was the night yet. I'm giving it a little break because it was a Saturday night, so I'm giving a little break. I'm gonna look at it. I'm like, you idiot! I should have done this and I should have done that. But it's the transition from being at home and not playing out versus actually doing it consistently for a long time. Because I'm gonna be honest, man, I've been DJing for 10, 11 years, like heavy, straight, just no breaks. Like my break would be like January for a couple weeks and then bam, I'm back on the grind again. And so being off for a year and a half sucked. It was bad. And there's no amount of practice. There's no amount of Twitch streams or just anything, just playing stuff public or privately is gonna get you back to your fighting weight and being ready for action. It's just not. And the thing is though, I've been playing this type of music for a long time. And some stuff I just snapped into, like I had to play some reggae, some dance hall, and my Jamaican side just snapped in like, oh, okay, I'm gonna play Beanie Man right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you gotta put this rhythm together. Like that just snapped in. But reggaeton, that was rusty. Oh my God, I was rusty as hell. Some of the current pop songs, rusty as hell. Because I think for me, like there's songs that I know are popular or supposed to be popular, but I haven't seen them in action because I haven't gone to a club in a while either. I mean, we're talking 2019 is the last time I've physically been in a club. I know A and B songs are popular, but I don't know how people respond to them. Are they fake popular or are they really popular? Like, I don't know that. But like these are the kind of things that you get from playing a bunch of gigs and then you can physically see what was going on. And so like I was playing songs and I didn't get the reaction I thought they would get. So it kind of messed me up. And I'm like, damn it, man. It's just the whole process has been really stressful and frustrating. I'll put it like that. For me, frustrating. Um, and I don't know how long this is gonna last for, or how many gigs I can get in before they shut things down again. But I mean, I'm thankful to be playing in front of people again. But it wasn't as great because we got reduced capacity up here, and it is craziness. I had to do the contact tracing when I got in there, and then you gotta wait for, oh my god, I'm gonna get a phone call, then I'm gonna, my whole thing schedule's wiped out for 2 weeks. Like, there's a lot of pressure and uncertainty that's going on right now, which doesn't need to be there. And I think that's the one thing that angers me the most about this situation, is that there's no nuance. I think that's the best way to say it. There's no nuance for these kinds of industries, because there's no contact tracing at Costco, which I always used to make the joke earlier. I used to make the joke like Costco found the cure, because Costco is like business as usual. Everybody's good. Everyone's in close quarters. They're doing everything like normal. Everybody's touching the same things, because at least at a club, outside the door, I'm not really touching everything. Maybe like the machine to pay money or whatever. Like, you're gonna buy a drink, you're gonna tap your credit card or whatever. Like, outside of that, I'm not really touching anything. But you're at a grocery store or whatever, you're touching everything. You have to touch stuff. You have shopping carts. You have to actually pick up the food. Somebody could have picked it up and put it back down. Like, there's no nuance. And so restaurants got to do contact tracing if they're indoors. And just, I don't want to do another pandemic episode, but I don't want to get into that. But I did want to talk about my experience. And I'll say this. Some stuff was muscle memory, and I was like, oh, I know what to play here. And other stuff was like, woo, new songs. I was like, there's a year and a half of new songs I haven't vetted yet. And I think that a lot of DJs who are at home who don't know this, that there's popular songs and there's fake popular songs. And I alluded to this in my T-Pain rant and my Nicki Minaj rant. Actually, I did 2 Nicki Minaj rants, but I alluded to that. The music industry today is all fake, 100% fake. Smoke and mirrors. There's a popular song. Say a perfect example of this is Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X has a bunch of people who he got buzz. He's got buzz. The streets are talking about his songs. But are they listening to his songs? There's the morbid curiosity thing, but that morbid curiosity doesn't turn into a long-term fan. It's more of, what is this crazy guy doing in this video? Oh, okay, I saw that. All right. Whew. Okay. You got to do the cross on your chest. Like, you're like, all right. But like, outside of that person who just wanted to check out to see what that thing is the initial week or whatever, they're not going to be listening to his song again. If his song came on again, they'll be like, who's this? They're not even going to know who it is. And so a lot of times there's songs that are super, super popular. And I'm using quotation marks. I should probably do this on camera eventually, but that's coming, all right? That's coming, folks. But, they're super popular in quotations because somebody paid for it. But when it actually comes down to it, these people aren't really fans. It's they got to check it out. They got to see what the buzz is. Oh, they're talking about on Twitter. What's this song? Let me go look it up. And then after that, that's the last they ever think about that song again. But if you're DJing at home and you haven't done a lot of gigs or whatever, you have nothing to base what is popular and what's not popular. You can do the Shazam thing, but that's kind of the same situation here, where people are looking for something, they hear it, and then they're done with it. The songs you play at the club have to be popular for the majority of the people who are listening to you. And again, it depends on what kind of DJ you are. For mobile DJs, basic club DJs, whatever you're playing's got to be popular. Like people actually want to hear it. So having these kinds of songs that are buzzworthy and they're on TikTok and they got all this, like, these are useless songs to you. And for the most part, I ignore them until I have to look at them. And that's when Tidal and Beat Source comes in handy, because I'm like, oh, yeah, I got that. Yeah, don't worry about it. But that's the factor. A lot of people who are sitting at home, they don't realize you have no basis to tell you what songs are hot and what songs aren't, unless you either go to clubs and you can see what other people are doing and get that visual reaction, or you've actually played it yourself and you can see what happens. Because a lot of times I do corporate stuff and, I'll play something in corporate, and by the time it hits Nancy in accounting, it is played out and nobody wants to hear it again in the club. So I can get a heads up way in advance about what people are going to be, what's going to be popping, whatever, like in that mindset. But for you sitting at home and you're going to start DJing now, or if you're retired and you haven't played in a while, it is a different monster, especially because things have a short half-life. They disintegrate in a matter of days, not even months or a year, days. That a song is popular and then nobody wants to hear it again in days. And this is the kind of thing that you cannot take days off. Like, I think that for me, like, I honestly looked at it like, you can't take any days off. You can't go on vacation. You can't be like, yo, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna come back in 5 months. Those days are over. This thing, music has accelerated at a speed that is unreal. And I'm hoping that it kind of slows down so people can appreciate music again, but it doesn't look like it. It honestly doesn't look like it. And if you think about it, like think long and hard about your library. How many songs do you play a night? Are you, 100 songs, 150 songs for a couple hours? I mean, how many songs do you really play a night? And how many of those songs do you play a lot? Versus these are all the brand new songs that came out just now. And these are songs that were hot, but I don't even look at them again. Like, how many songs like that do you have in your library? I would venture to say they're substantial. I honestly believe that, and I'm looking at my library, I've talked to other DJs, and they all have the same situation there. I think it is substantial, the amount of music that you put in there for a week, and it was the biggest thing smoking, and it was a week, and then there's poof, gone, and you forgot about it. But there is a huge song that, you still go back to or whatever, like even if it's a couple years old, whatever. But like there's something that you can go back to that is tried, tested, and true, and you don't have to think twice about it. This thing's a banger. I think everybody's live, well, it's mobile DJs. Because again, if you play dance music, it's a different argument and you don't really apply to this. But, mobile DJs, club DJs that play top 40, rap music, that kind of stuff. This is your wheelhouse. This is my world. And it's moving at a really fast pace. And I don't think I've ever appreciated it until I've been forced to take this sabbatical for a year and a half. You think about it in the back of your mind, but you kind of don't notice it because you're constantly getting new music and you're constantly updating your thing. But like, I organize my library by the year and the genre, and honestly, it's sat home to me recently because of this weekend with the last couple of gigs I've done, that this thing's moving at a fast pace, really fast. And I think that I haven't put much thought about it until now, but yeah, I've been sitting on this all day, and I don't know, man. It's kind of, when you're in the machine, say like you're on the subway, you don't realize how fast it's going. when you have to hop off the subway for a minute, then hop back on, you're like, oh snap. I was gonna, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's that factor of when you can hop off to a thing that's not moving, you kind of see it. You're like, oh, wow. It's a lot of wasted songs. It's almost too much music if you really get down to it. And I don't hate it, but yeah, I'll just say that. I found it interesting. I'll put it like that. Gotta talk about Instagram for a second. I've been meaning to do a video about this. I talked about it maybe a couple months ago. And I was talking about how the algorithm's kind of broken and it's difficult for you to build up your Instagram page. Is it a page? I don't know. Your Instagram thingy. It's kind of difficult to build it up today versus how it used to be because Instagram doesn't want you to be found. They want you to pay to be found. Or they want you to play by their rules and use the system the way they tell you to use it versus how you want to use it, which kind of sucks. And there's not the only platform like this. All of the platforms are, Twitch, YouTube, they all have the same thing right now. For instance, for YouTube, consistency and length is the key. Pause. And it really comes down to live streaming. They want you to live stream more than anything else. And, my page can't grow because I haven't done any live streams yet. So my page it's growing at a slow rate. It get like 100, 200 subscribers a month, which is minuscule. My page is a drop in the bucket, but my page, because I'm not doing live streams yet, which I'm looking at doing the podcast as a live stream and then cutting it up and putting it into the thing. But I need to get some equipment first before I can do that. But I'm going to test it out at least first to just see how it goes. But yeah, like each one of these platforms wants you to use it the way they want you to, which benefits larger YouTubers or larger Instagram. It's the Instagrammers. I don't know. The gram. And same thing with Twitch and all this other stuff. Like you have to use it the way they want to, and they change it up constantly. So the thing about Instagram is that the guy who runs Instagram, I don't even know what his name is. I just saw the video and he's like, well, we're not gonna do pictures anymore. And we're not gonna do video anymore like that, like we've been doing before. Because TikTok is cleaning their clock. And I didn't even mean to rhyme, but TikTok is destroying Instagram and YouTube right now. And that special 2-second video or green screen or whatever that thing, the dances, you name it, they're doing it over there. And I gotta give legacy tech media companies, because that's what they are. You've been around for a minute, your legacy. They're dying on the vine. And that, I had no pun intended on that, but that's eventually what's going to happen here. Facebook is only alive right now because Facebook is the largest advertising agency on planet Earth. That is the only reason Facebook exists today. A lot of people don't realize it. Between Google and Facebook, it's like 90% of all advertising goes to these two companies alone. It's a duopoly. And that's the only reason why that company still exists. Otherwise, it would be dead and buried. Do you go on Facebook? I do not go on Facebook. I don't have anybody in my peer group that goes on Facebook. I mean, like, I don't even think my parents go on Facebook, and they're old as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to see, pictures of family members. They're like, just email us. It's easier. Like, also, they're very skeptical of Facebook, but that's another topic, all right? But the fact remains that most people, it's a lot of elderly people that are on Facebook, and maybe Ben Shapiro, I guess. I don't know. He's one of the largest channels on, pages? He's got one of the largest pages on Facebook. Don't ask me why. think he made a deal for the devil. He's fed. um, but yeah, like there's not a lot of people who use it consistently on a daily basis that are younger, and like technically they're existing on borrowed time through manipulation, I guess, and the fact that they own WhatsApp and Instagram, and so having Instagram be losing the future market share, because this is really realistically, this is about the future. Instagram doesn't care about the older people on Instagram looking at pictures or whatever. If you're looking at Instagram thoughts or whatever, they don't care about you. They're worried about the 14-year-olds, the 16-year-olds, the 20, 21-year-olds. They're worried about them because they all went over to TikTok. And, long-term growth and that new market, that's not there for them anymore. And so they're like, we're changing everything. And so people who have been using the platform for just to use pictures or do the Instagram stories, those things don't even matter anymore. And the president of the Instagram was like, look, we're changing how this algorithm works, and we're changing what's a priority to us. And it's a TikTok clone. That's a priority to them. Trying to get it's a cross between TikTok and YouTube. So they're trying to get you to do both of these things on Instagram to kind of bring in the younger crowd to save them. And I don't think it's going to work. You know why? Because Instagram doesn't get the satisfaction of subscribers feeling like their content's reaching to their subscribers or their fans. You don't have that unless you have a really, really large page. And, I follow photography people, and there's this photographer, his name is Chris. I forgot his last name. Chris something. I forgot his last name. It's irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. The point is, this guy has an Instagram page with like 600,000 subscribers. And he's like, yo, I do paid advertisements with people and I do all this other cross promotion stuff. And barely anybody in my subscriber count's even seeing my content. I'm like, what am I doing this for? Like, he had this, I wouldn't say it's heart-wrenching, but like you could tell this is his business model, and his business model is dying a horrible death. And so you can see like the frustration in his eyes about what the hell is he going to do about this thing. And I think that he's going to end up being on TikTok, but like he's a photographer. He does like short videos sometimes, but like he's a photographer. He posts pictures. Well, where are you going to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you going to go to put your pictures up that's going to get the same retention? Because there was a photography website. It was like 500X or something. I forgot what it's called. Jesus, man, my mind's a mush right now. There's an app that used to be like a different version of photographer stuff. Or, you can go on Vero. That you can do photography on there. But like it's small. If you don't know who Zack Snyder is, then you don't really care what Vero is. That's his thing. It does pictures and video. You can do a bunch of stuff on there. He's done live streams on there too. But, Vero, you could technically post pictures up there. I have an account. I post pictures sometimes. I have posted pictures. Terrible social media. But yeah, like there's always going to be some kind of replacement for picture stuff. But I think people's things have changed. And just looking at a physical picture is not as exciting to a lot of people mentally. So I think that they moved on to you have to have video. You got to do some kind of video content for that little tiny screen on your phone. I think I'm old. I don't like watching long form videos on my phone. Like if I'm going to watch YouTube on my phone, I'm more so not looking at the screen, and I have like some headphones on, and I'll be cooking, or like just playing it, like propping it up on somewhere in the kitchen while I'm cooking, or which is illegal. Don't do this. I'll connect my phone to my car, and I'll play the YouTube video. Like if it's a long video, like an hour or whatever, I'll play it while I'm driving, not looking at the screen, but I'll just play it while I'm driving. I don't like looking at my phone for like an hour. Like that's just excruciating. But like there's people who do that. My niece does that. Like her generation, they don't even watch like Netflix on TV or whatever. They'll watch Netflix on their phone. That little 2-inch thing or I think it's like 5 inches. It's not even that big, but that's what everybody does. That's what everybody does right now. That whole thing about looking at long form content like that, my generation's past. I can't do that. It's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna do that. But it's a different generation, man. Yeah, people get into it the way they do. They consume content the way they do. And, that's the reason why I put the podcast on YouTube as well. People watch it or they listen to it the way they want to. Gotta give people options, man. I didn't want to talk about this, but I think it needs addressing. Dr. Dre. This was the story of the last couple days. I think the ruling came down on Friday for Dr. Dre. He has to pay $600,000. No, $300,000 a month. So it works out to like $3 million or something like that. People were laughing about it. I heard two sides of the story. I heard oh man, it's Dr. Dre. This was a win for him because he was gonna have to pay $6 million. Like what? I heard that. Like one of my friends sent me this Instagram, and this guy he's all in Dre's pockets, and he's doing his math calculations about how this has worked out for him because he lives in California and he did this and this and that. And I'm just looking at it like, what? No. She was a millionaire when she met him. Kick rocks. Like I don't care. Like you want to get divorced? I'm from the ancient days of the peace out. Oh, whatever jacket you had when you came to the house, that's what you wear when you leave. That's where I'm at. Some people are like, oh, how dare you? Like that's terrible. That's insensitive. Like, nah, man. This is out of control. This makes people never want to get married ever again. I know like people like Kevin Samuels is out there trying to do the Lord's work, trying to bring people together. And people don't look at it like that, but he's trying to bring people together. But this right here, this is more fresh and fit. This is the kind of stuff that's like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna smash and pray I don't knock anybody up and just live my best life somewhere alone. And this type of stuff makes people live like that. I don't know. And the thing is though, Chris Rock had a joke about this, and he was talking about he was talking about OJ, and he was like, look, when you're broke, he's saying like everybody needs a prenup, and he's like, what was this about? Oh no, okay, those are two separate things, right? First thing was he's talking about the prenup, and I don't think that was connected to OJ, but he's got to the other point, which I'm going to make in a second. So he was talking about, when you make $30,000 and you get a divorce, and they're like, well, your wife needs 15 now, and you got to move back home with your mom. Like everybody needs a prenup, and in the case of Dr. Dre had a prenup. And you know what? His ex-wife played out this elaborate ruse to the judge about how he ripped it up, and he said that he didn't really want her to be under it anymore. And I was like, what? The same guy who made that song, who was Snoop Dogg, that guy ripped up his prenup? I find that far-fetched. I find that really hard to believe. I'm just saying, like, listen, all right? My channel is 99.9% dudes. I'm talking to you dudes now. Ladies who listen to my channel, I appreciate your input, but I'm talking to dudes right now, all right? What? Dr. Dre ripped up his prenup. Word? I'm like, I don't want to get into the counting his pockets right now, but like something about that feels just dirty to me that people can. I don't. A lot of people make the argument. I've heard all kind of arguments before I said, let me sit down and talk about this. So I'm getting my thoughts out as it just comes to me at this point. But a lot of people were like, well, she was married to him when he made that deal with Beats and he sold it to Apple. But I was like, but was she there with Iveen, sitting there with the drawing board about what we're going to do with the headphone? Like, was she there? Like, no, she was at home. Like, what? Emotional support? She was like, go get him, Tiger. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't. you know what? People are going to make, this is broke dude talking right now. All right, that's fine. Whatever I'm making now versus, back when I had a record deal, my thought process has not changed at all. My feelings about this has not changed at all. Now, fortunately, I'm single right now. And good God, man, how do you... I watch the horror stories on Fresh and Fit podcast. Shout out to those guys. And while this is not everybody on planet Earth, it is damn near close. The stuff that you're dealing with here. And oh my good, man. You watch this stuff and you just get like, ugh. And I shout out to my brothers and people who are out there. Like, my parents are married, but like my parents are West Indian and they got married back in the old days when they were like, I do for life. Yep. And they were like, all right, cool. We're gonna be together forever. That's when my parents got married. Not in this, you know what? Man, you should have bought me a Range Rover. Instead, you got me a Jeep Cherokee. I'm getting a divorce. Like, we're in a different world right now. This is a whole different... People can't appreciate... Like, the people who are married can't appreciate how bonkers the dating world is right now and what you're dealing with in this current landscape. They cannot appreciate it. So I have a lot of friends that are married and, I hang out with them, I talk to them and they look at me like, dude, how are you? And I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's wild out here. So for somebody like Dr. Dre, like he's in his divorce procedures. He's already back talking the thoughts again. Like, he hasn't learned a single lesson. I'm like, who are you choosing out of this group? Like, who are you choosing? And this is why I like watching like these kind of podcasts and people like Kevin Samuels. Like, people hate Kevin Samuels, but I like watching this kind of stuff because, you get some kind of, you need that rude awakening to kind of keep you on your toes and make sure that you recognize what's going on, what you're dealing with, because it's wild out here. Getting back to Dre, $3 million a year is obscene. Obscene. And people can do getting back to the Chris Rock, I'm accustomed to this, I'm accustomed to that. He made that great line, hey, you're accustomed to eating at a restaurant. When you leave the restaurant, they don't owe you a steak. All right? And this has been my feeling about this kind of stuff for the longest time. I feel like you should just shake hands and be like, give a pound. Like, I don't love you no more. You don't love me no more. Cool. All right, yo, I'm going to sell the house and I'm going to see you when I see you. Cool. All right, peace out. Like, that's where I'm at. I wish the world thought like that. In North America, at least, this is a pipe dream because relationships are crap. And I don't want to get into the relationship channel, but relationships are terrible right now because people don't care. No, I shouldn't say people don't care because people do care. And, relationships go south for a number of reasons. But I think people who are older stay together regardless of, oh, you lost your job. Oh, you cheated on me. Him and her. Like, people stay together for a lot of different reasons back in the day. Today, it's like, I stubbed my toe. I'm going to get divorced. Like, oh, man, you left the lawnmower out last night. I'm going to get divorced. Like, the reasons for people getting divorced today are ridiculous. And so when you add that into the fact that people are just going to take half or whatever, getting married's a tough sell. And then you got to be like, what do you bring to the table? And it's like, well, I'm bringing my looks and my shoe collection. And the guy's like, I'm bringing my toy collection. I have a collection of Transformers. Like, yo, like, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, whatever my future wife would be, she's not going to care about her records. Like, that's a whatever, man. Just taking up space. I'm going to put these in a box and put them in the garage. I'm like, what? Like, what? But I'm just saying, like, what people bring to the table now, nobody can cook. I've dated a lot of girls who can't cook, like, flat out. Like, don't even know how to do anything. Like, for me, my criteria, flat out, can you make rice and peas? Can you make jerk chicken? I'm gonna instantly cut you off if your next answer is what's jerk. What? No, we're done here. We're done. It was like that when I lived in America. It's like that when I lived in Canada. I don't care. You can't make either of these two things. I'm done here. I am done. It's a petty reason, but like, I feel if you know this kind of stuff, at least you got the old ways from the island somewhere, like it's in you somehow, or at least you care about other cultures stuff, so you kind of respect it. So that at least that's there at a minimum. But and it's ridiculous because it doesn't mean anything because they could just go watch a YouTube video and go make it. So it's irrelevant right now. But this thing here that people are bringing to relationships and what they're expecting in a relationship is crazy town. Absolute crazy town. I need a support group of single dudes who'd be like, yo, man, it is bonkers what people are dealing with right now. Bonkers. And then I'm going to take half because I don't like how you painted the den. What? There's no, like, you know what? Let's talk it out. Let's go to therapy, whatever. Like, people are just petty and they want instant gratification. And I don't think that I'm overstating that in any way. And I don't know what happened to Dre in this regard, but I think that people have this thing about everything needs to be perfect and I got to be happy and everything's got to be awesome 100%. Like the Lego movie, everything's got to be awesome 100% of the time. And the second something goes south, well, I gotta parachute out. There's this level of selfishness that's going on right now, and everybody's in it for themselves, trying to form a union with somebody who else is in it for themselves. And that's not. I think people are better off being single, to be honest, if that's what you're working with here. Real talk. I think if you're going to be selfish, better off being single. I'll admit, like, I'm selfish at some times. And, like, DJing, if you're married and you've been DJing for a long time, I think your wife, everybody's cool with it. But today, I think that unless you're Tiesto or somebody like that, it's like a big superstar. If you're just playing at your local club and pulling in a couple stacks a week, your wife's gonna be like, you need a real job. That's a fact, all right? I've dated people who are like, hey, can you do something else? But because the thing is, though, if you DJ on weekends a lot of time, if they're doing a 9 to 5, you're instantly not gonna click. Real talk. You are gonna be busy on the weekends, and she's gonna want to go do stuff. And you got to give up gigs or whatever just to make that work for it. It's going to be a problem. You're going to have to get a regular job. Unless you got a down chick who's 100% ride or die with you, and she knows this was paying the light bill, so I'm gonna shut the hell up and I'm gonna hold this house together while you out. Like that's what it's gonna take, all right? And there's not a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who like the DJ life early on, and then there's people that are like, you're always gone late at night. You gotta come back at 4:00 in the morning. I don't like this. You're always around pretty girls. I don't like this at all. It gets got jealousy, you got all kind of stuff. It's just it's a unique life, and people are gonna have to make adjustments when you get into a relationship. Like you're probably gonna have to give it up. And I took a hard left turn about Dre, but like I guess this is about relationships in general. Like we're in a weird time for this stuff, man. It really is it's a difficult time for how relationships work and what people want out of you, and what's the tipping point for the relationship to fall apart. I guess that's what I'm saying. It seems like it's a minor thing. Like if you talk to like your grandparents or whoever, back in the day, people were like, "Well, I'm not gonna leave him. What, are you crazy? Like, there's no golden parachute at the end of this thing. You picked wrong. You picked wrong. This is your life now." And I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but people had this whole other beast that they were dealing with back in the day. So they had to work things out and just come to an understanding. Maybe they got two separate beds like the Flintstones or I Love Lucy. Like back in the day, all the TV shows, they couldn't have people sleep in the same bed because of, it wasn't an FCC, but like they had some kind of standard on TV about indecency. Even if it was your wife, you couldn't be in the same bed. So they had these people in two separate beds on TV. And then, culturally, that's just the thing. That's how it was. And, you give your wife a pound like, all right, I'm going to go brush my teeth. I'm going to be out. That was the thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's how it was. But today, man, is people, they're like, you ordered the wrong package from Amazon Prime. I'm going to divorce. Like, that's what we're dealing with today. That's literally what we're dealing with today. And this is why I love watching Fresh or Fit, because Fresh, Fab, and Fit, they're like, everybody's on the panel like, oh, I'm going to need 600,000 and I'm going to need you to go do this, and you got weave and sandal it up for me, and you got to do all this other stuff. I'm like, what? How? What? And they're like, well, what are you going to bring to the table? Well, I'm going to bring my intellect, because I'm intellectual-like, and I'm going to bring my nail collection, and I got big booty, Brazilian booty. Like, what are we dealing with here? I'll say this right now. The West is finished. For my people who know, I'm just going to say this. The West is finished. There's a point in time we peaked already, and shenanigans are afoot right now for relationships, for everything. Jobs, for buying real estate, inflation. The West is finished. Just FYI. If you bought some, well, I'm not getting to that. I don't want to get this video taken down, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should get some some non-perishable goods. Like if you gotta get some MREs or something like that, you should throw a couple of those in the garage and get some bottles of water. FYI. All right. The West is finished. All right. We are finished. It's not looking good. And the more I watch these kind of videos, and I'm not saying like I'm blackpilled or anything like that. I still date and all that other stuff, but I'm just saying, like, when you interact with people and you're out there and you see what's going on in the world, you're like, wow. Just wow. And it's the same everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. It is literally anything that steps foot in here turns to mush. I'll put it like that. And if you're one of these suckers with a passport, think you're going to fly over there and you're going to get some person that She's just gonna bow to you all day. Like, good luck with that. It's not gonna be better over there either. Everyone's got problems, all right? This thing was a weed and it went everywhere, all right? So, yeah, YOLO. All right, let's talk about England here. I've been talking about this club stuff in England and how these things have been going on for a while now. And it's looking bleak, man. It's really looking bleak. I don't think people really appreciate what's happening here. Clubs are closing everywhere, all over the place, just all over the place. They're just dying off. If you live in a country or a city or whatever that did a shutdown, kiss your club district goodbye. Right now, it's finished. And there's places that were opened up and they're barely surviving right now. Like, that's how bad this whole situation is with all this stuff. And I want to get to the pandemic and this kind of stuff. Like, but people got issues here. You're not going to have places to play if your country or your city or whatever is trying to put bubble wrap around everybody and save everybody. You're just not going to have any place to play. It's going to be mad difficult for you to even do anything anymore. So that's a factor. 100% that's a factor. So England right now is in a complete battle over the nightlife industries. First, when Boris, messy hair, does he have a balloon or something he can comb his hair with? Like, just anything. His hair looks like Bernie Sanders' hair. Like, this is insane. Anyways, I'm digressing here. Boris has completely forgotten a third of the economy. When I talk about this stuff, and this is why it's such a big deal for me. I'm like, this is a third of your economy. You just forgot about it and told them to suck it up and don't worry about it. A third of your economy. With jobs that are not going to, you can't just, everybody, you're open now. Everything business is you. Like, no. Everything's going to be screwed up here. So, all the clubs, they have like a nightlife industry association, whatever, I forgot what it's called. It's like NITA or something association. And that guy has a cool name, which is it's escaping me at the moment. But he has like a Bond villain name. I forgot his name, but he's like, nah. Oh, you want to set up rules and regulations? Nah, we're just not going to do that. So there's an absolute battle for all of England and nightlife, whatever is going to go on right now. And I think that it's going to spill over to Italy, and Paris is going to get the same thing because they're all battling over this passport stuff, which I've already addressed already. I think it's a bad deal. I think it's a bad idea, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Everybody's battling over this thing, and for clubs and stuff like that, like my city, clubs and bars and stuff are dying, just dying. And it doesn't matter if the cases are 0 or low or whatever. Doesn't matter where the cases are or whatever. They're just like, well, you could get sick, so no, I'm not going to do anything. And I'm not 100% against or for this stuff. I just think that there needs to be nuance. Why can't you have a rooftop patio? Why can't you let boats go out? Why can't you know what I'm saying? Like, there should be nuance. They're like 100%. They want people to wear a mask in a patio that's wide open outside, and you sit down at your table, then you can take your mask off. But if you get up to leave, you got to put your mask back on. Outside. You're outside in a patio. No nuance. This is not a one size fits all. Because again, like I said before, Costco's got the cure, right? Costco figured this sucker out. There needs to be nuance for all this stuff. In the same way in nightclubs, all this stuff needs nuance. Nightclubs are not designed to run at 25% capacity. They're just not. You basically made it so that it's going to die just more slowly. But the end result's still going to be the same because it's not designed for that. And it just doesn't seem to be. I wish that all these people who have the core good for humanity and they're doing their best. I wish that they had economists and, people who look at all these industries at the table when they made these big decisions for everybody. Because they didn't. They're getting one point of view, and the one point of view didn't take into account anything else. Because I made this argument before. And again, I don't have any answers for this thing, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm a doctor or anything like that. But if you have a job and your job pays your bills and you pay your rent or your mortgage with it, and then you feed your family with said job, this job is essential to you. I'm going to rewind that, all right? Do like, brr, listen, all right? If you have a job, you pay for food with your job, and you pay for a roof over your head with this job. This job is essential to you. And in the nightclub industry, and the concerts, and the clubs, and the bars, and the theaters, and all this other stuff, people pay their rent with this. They pay their bills with this. They pay their student loans with it. Like, it's just like, I don't want to get worked up, but there needs to be nuance. Now, you got the Loki variants and all this craziness going on right now, but realistically, there's going to be a Rubicon that we pass when this is no longer feasible. It hasn't been feasible since last year. We are printing funny money. We got monopoly money going on in the government right now. And inflation's already, I talked about inflation before, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but inflation and craziness is hitting right now. I went to Costco to buy some fish. I like salmon, all right? Don't judge me. I season my salmon up. It's Chef Ramsay will be like, yo, this is on point. All right, you're not a donkey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love salmon, all right? I went to Costco to get some salmon. Salmon is double the price right now. I looked at it like, wait a minute. Gas is crazy right now. I put $30 in my car. I got up to a little bit over a quarter tank. I was like, what? I thought, at least half. Maybe get to half. I don't have a big car. My car is tiny. I got a small car. It's a little bit above a quarter tank. And I'm like, oh my God, inflation's here. People got to get back to work. That's all I'm going to say right now. People have to get back. This is unsustainable on any level. It is ridiculous to even pretend like this is a thing and this could even go on longer than it's going on right now. This is laughable. And, I was talking to somebody last night about it, and, he's a little bit older. He's got gray in his hair. And, he's like, well, let's do another lockdown. I'm like, dude, we can't do another lockdown. And he's struggling with the lockdowns, but he's like, we got to do another lockdown. Look, this is not going to work. Not sustainable. At this point in time, this thing they're pulling out monopoly credit cards at this point to pay for what's going on right now. This is how silly this thing is. And it looks like there's no end in sight because there's no economist at the table. I can't stress this enough. I took this stuff in college, and either what they told me in college is nonsense, or we're in a magical land right now with fairies, and there's a fairy godmother with a magic wand that's creating money for the Federal Reserve, right? Either this is what's going on, or everything they told me in college was a lie. Either or. One or the other is happening right now. All right. Jesus Christ, man. I had this subject I was going to talk about depression, but like, I can't do it right now. I don't want to leave this thing like a dark. I can't have every podcast end on a dark cloud. Like, this is ridiculous. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the Olympics because, this is currently on my mind right now. I think this is the first Olympics that I didn't watch. I've been really watching. I've been getting alerts about men's basketball, how bad it was, and how I think Team USA didn't get any medals the first day, and they're like, "This is the worst day ever." And they got like 6 medals the second day. They're like, "This is the best starting ever." I'm like, okay. News is trash. Right? News is absolute garbage. It is horrifying how bad news is right now, but I'm not even gonna get on that right now. I'm very curious to see like how much people are watching these little distractions like NBA Finals, the Olympics, all these movies that just came out like Black Widow. They had this other stuff that's going on right now. Okay, to be fair, because I'm Jamaican, like I honestly really only care about the 100 meters. It's like the only sport that Jamaicans do really well in, or they've been doing well in for a long time. So, like 100 meters, I'll watch that because my dad, he watches 100 meters and he watches like soccer. They got like a soccer thing. He'll watch that, or football for the rest of you people around the world. He'll watch that. So, I'll talk to him about that kind of stuff. And, he likes basketball, so I'll talk to him about basketball. But like in general, Olympics, I don't really care. Outside of those things, I'll watch a couple other things. The Winter Olympics, I'll watch the hockey thing. And skiing, downhill skiing, I'll watch that too. I think that's cool. I don't mind the cold, man. Cold doesn't bother me. But there's not a lot of stuff in the Olympics that I have to watch. I got to sit down and watch every award ceremony. I got to watch all the events. I don't care. Even like they had like the Euro Cup, and I just watched the final game. I heard about stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I did watch the final game with England and Italy. I did see that, but like just generally, I don't care. The only thing that I watch as far as sports and this kind of related stuff is football. It's the only thing I watch the whole game for the whole year. I watch my team from preseason all the way up to when they get eliminated in the playoffs, and I'll watch the playoffs in the Super Bowl. That's the only sport that I will sit down from because it's August to February. It's the whole season for football. I'll watch that. But, football's Sunday afternoon. Sometimes Monday, you got the Sunday night games, and Monday, you got your Thursday games. My goodness. I don't watch Thursday. Thursday games are trash. But Sunday for sure. Unless my team is playing on a Thursday, like Thanksgiving or whatever. Other than that, I could care less. I don't care. I think I watch more movies and other stuff than sports. Like, I don't really watch sports. Basketball, I'll watch the finals, maybe. Depending if LeBron's playing that, I don't care. I said it. Yeah, realistically for sports, whatever. But like Olympics is on right now, and I'll definitely, depending on what's going on where, because it's in Japan, so like the time difference, I'm not gonna stay up and watch that thing live. Like hell no, I'm not gonna do that. But whenever they do the rebroadcast for the 100 meters and the 4x100 or whatever, the relay, I watched the relay 100 meters, maybe the 200, maybe. Because you got Usain Bolt was there a couple years ago. Like I shout out to him. So I used to watch that, but like generally, I could care less. I honestly don't care. I think I used to care more about sports. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch baseball religiously. But yeah, I stopped watching baseball. I just don't care. I know people watch sports a lot, but I mean, outside football, it's just not interesting to me. And football's weighing heavy right now. They're doing all kind of foolishness. They're like, how can we get DJ Keo to stop watching football? Let's try that first. Like, that's what they're doing right now. Like, they're doing their darnest to make me not want to watch. I can't. Another Tom Brady Super Bowl, I can't do that. I'll watch some home Super Bowl. I'll watch another one. I'm cool with that. But another Tom Brady Super Bowl, nah, I'm done. If he gets into another Super Bowl, I'm out. Just tell me what the score is at the end. I'll do that. He's gonna make the playoffs. Like he's just good. He's gonna make the playoffs. Oh man. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna wrap this up right now. We're in Looney Tunes town. This is bonus content. Yeah, I'm trying to get some equipment so I can do this thing live and on camera. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I like polishing it up a little bit, but we're gonna have to do warts and all because it's live. I'm gonna have to figure out a timetable for the podcast, what time I could do it live. We'll see about that. I have a feeling that we're gonna go back down to a shutdown, so you know what? It's gonna be required for me to do it like this anyway. So we'll see how it goes. You know what? Thank you again for watching and subscribing, listening to the podcast. I appreciate all of the stuff, all the people who've been watching. I have some videos this week. I'm actually going to be on camera recording this week. So whenever you hear this, there should be a couple videos up for you to peruse as well. I'm not going to say what they are. I'm doing reviews. I got a couple reviews coming up. So, we'll talk about that when it happens. It's going to be controversial. I think both of them are probably going to be controversial. So, we'll get back to that anyways. Anyways, you know what? Thank you for watching. I appreciate all y'all. Please go buy something from the DJ Keo store, dj.keo store. Got some cool merch in there. I got mugs. And we got some new stuff is going to be in the store soon. So, you can check that out. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And peace out.